Hey, beautiful souls, and welcome to the weekly reading for Sunday, February 20th through Saturday, February 26th. We are going to take a look with some tarot and oracle cards to see the energies, potentials, and possibilities for this week. For those of you that are new, I am Joyful Medium, Joy Giovanni. I help people step out of overwhelm and into love through mediumship, healing, and teaching. People who work with me walk away feeling connected to something greater, empowered, and more alive. So let's get looking at these energies. I've already pre-shuffled the cards as usual. I'm just going to flip you down so you can see them. We're going to cut the deck, and we have been working with this Celtic cross spread now for a bit. So let's just take a look at what we can see. So the basis of the situation this week is things really just not moving along as quickly as we had hoped they would. And another little piece of this that'll resonate for some is things that we had planned or intended or have been working towards in the world, done some legwork, done some groundwork, just not feeling like they're coming to fruition in the way that we had hoped, and definitely not in the timing that we had hoped. So let's take a look and see what else we can know about this. Now, this card across is the thing that's crossing us or blocking us. This Three of Swords is the card of broken hearts. So perhaps something that you've been working towards has shifted in the way it looks. This often is about things in the past, especially when I see it reversed and in this position. So for some of you, it will be heartbreaks in the past that are kind of making you feel really down or not as positive as you'd hoped about the things that you were working on and kind of were hoping would be in the world or in fruition or moving along by now. So where in the past have you had heartbreaks around things that you were passionate about and put all your time and energy and effort into? Or if this is really happening all in the present for you, has the thing you've been working on, whether it's a project, whether it's yourself, whether it's your life's purpose, whether it's a gift that you have things shifted or pivoted or almost like a fork in the road, and you're just having some sadness or some regret around either some opportunities you didn't seize previously or around the timing of things. So just really understanding that you might be having some hurt feelings or some disappointment around whatever this is that you've been putting time and effort into that's not moving along as quickly or in the direction that you thought. Now, the basis of the situation, this Five of Wands. So this can mean we're in conflict or things are really changing. Now, this doesn't always necessarily mean within our personal life. It can be, in the company that you work for, things are changing and you're feeling like you really have to argue and fight and defend every moment of whatever this project is you're working on. It could be things in the world. We're really at odds right now. That's true in most parts of our world, unfortunately. People being really at odds, and is the thing, maybe it's just life in general you thought would be moving along more quickly by now, but because of the disagreements, because of the discourse, because sides are at odds, it's just holding things back is the feeling. The other thing for some of you that will be true is that with this broken heart, sometimes we've seen people in a different way or for who they truly are. We thought they were on our side and they are not, or we're on opposing sides of something. And it's just really been a big disappointment that's come out of this. I want to talk more about these delays, but let me just move through these a little bit more. So this Hermit card we've got in reverse and in this position of what we've recently learned or come through that we can take lessons from. So remembering with this Hermit reverse that while it's important to, have wise teachers and advisors, while it's important to go and look within, the indication here is that, you've also learned that you can't always do everything on your own. It takes two to fix the situation, two parties, or it takes, willingness to learn or understand. So just looking for opportunities to collaborate as we move forward and not just walling yourself off and locking yourself up in an attic all by yourself, hiding away. That's not going to be the best solution is what it looks like. Now, what this indicates with the Six of Wands at the top, what's so interesting is, 5 is followed by 6. So we've got this 5 at the bottom as the basis, but then the 6 on top is the card of victory. So this is really saying, maybe these delays are in your favor. Maybe the pace of this is actually in the long run going to be more beneficial in a way that you just don't understand right now. Maybe this broken heart or this change of path is actually going to help you to be victorious in whatever it is you're trying to bring into the world. The wands often have to do with things that we're passionate about. So certainly you could be passionate about your work or a relationship, but it really often has to do with our life's purpose or that calling, our highest expression. 6 is really, like I keep telling you guys, 2022, we're in a 6 year. That's working things out after the change or the rubble or the storm. So there is still a way for you to be victorious in this situation in a way that represents your highest and greatest good in the long run. So don't lose hope is essentially what this card is saying. Even if you are feeling at odds right now, there is still a way, and maybe everyone can still win in this situation. It just might not look the way you originally thought or intended, and that's okay. Now, right around the corner, what we've got here, What's really interesting about this is this Knight of Cups is the slowest moving of the knights. As you see, they've got this cup and they're slow and steady, not wanting to spill what's inside. But when it is reversed, it can often mean, hey, just around the corner, things are going to pick up in pace because we've got this slowing with this 8 of Wands reversed. So just around the corner, things are going to pick up the pace or things are going to become a little more clear. We're going to be making decisions more from the mind and less from the heart. Maybe really some things will become clear for you with whatever your heart is feeling broken about as it relates to this situation that's moving in a different direction or gone astray or not as fast as we'd like. Some of the things that have come to light or are, in the process of coming to light might just help us make some of these decisions. Cups often has to do with things that our emotions are tied to or that are close to our heart. So you might really very soon be able to understand the benefit of what has happened or the information that's come to light, particularly about people involved in this situation. So let's pull some guidance and just see what else we can know. I've got, you guys can't quite see it, but I've got all the card decks to the sides here. So let's just see where we're going to pull. Let's do some Sacred Traveler. And as usual, I will list all the decks I'm using below. I'm not sponsored by any of these decks. I just love them. Okay. This is you in this situation. Now, this is Wise Leader. You are a beacon for others. And because this is in the reverse position, the indication is that some of you are forgetting this. So some of you are forgetting, hey, even though it looks like you've put all this work into something that's now not going to go forward or has now totally pivoted, you're a wise leader. You have more power in this situation than you really are giving yourself credit for. The other thing that stands out to me, I'm just going to show it to you upright. This is a wand, and we've seen a lot of wands in this reading so far. This wand under here, the whole basis of the situation. So you're really the one leading the charge on this. The other thing that's cool is in the angel decks that I use, the suit of wands is often represented by fire instead. So, you really do have the fire, the passion. This is your thing that you created into the world, your creation, your dream, your project, your vision, your calling on your life. You really are more invested, or don't let go so soon. If you're feeling like I just give up, don't. This card is indicating you're a wise leader. You are a beacon for others. So how you're handling this situation, how you're pivoting, the new ideas that you're coming up with, you're an inspiration to others in all of this. And even if some people are at odds here or, causing this project to slow down or this situation for you, even if it's a person that's breaking your heart, you really do have more power, more skill, more leadership. You're a little bit more heart-centered in this situation, and you are a beacon. So you need to set the tone. It reminds me of that saying, people will treat you however you'll accept, and if you'll settle for crumbs, you're going to receive crumbs. So you're the beacon. You're the one who sets the tone, and don't forget it. Because this is in reverse, it's just indicating that you might have just forgotten a little bit. Now, other people's influence in the situation, valiant courage, which I love. This reminds me so much of the Knights. Take action with passion. Crazy. If you guys remember, the wands, I just said it, are things that we are passionate about. And it's interesting because we've got this Knight and this Knight bookending. So it almost, since this is such a mirrored thing here, it almost makes me feel like maybe it is someone else in the picture, an outside person or circumstance or timing that is the one that's created this slowing down. Valiant courage to me just means either a couple things. Either, just hang in there, keep in your beliefs, keep in your passion, and you will be receiving the support from outside, an outside source or force or timing that you didn't realize or were, hoping would happen. Take action with passion. And remember that the passion that you're trying to put into the world with this situation, it is meant to benefit others in some way. So there might be someone or something that recognizes that and helps you to take this action, as long as you're coming from your passion, right? So remembering, don't just shift and settle. And if there was something you're really passionate about, or, if it's a relationship for you that you're feeling like this resonates towards, if it's like a priority in your life or something that's a core quality of you, don't just give up on it and cast it to the side. If it's something that's deeply rooted in you or that you're deeply passionate about, have courage, and the Knights will come rushing in your favor. Things are about to start moving a little more quickly around this situation, I feel like. Okay, so a couple points of guidance. First light, beginning a new cycle. This can mean a few different things. So we just had the full moon as of a couple days ago. It was Thursday, this last Thursday. So that means we're coming into a new moon. So that could be an indication for timeline for some of you, depending on your situation. But it also can be, beginning of a new cycle. As we know, in our world, most things are cyclical. We have the seasons, we have, the aging cycle. So lots of cycles. So maybe this is just a cycle that your relationship, your project, your career, whatever it is going through, and new fresh ideas will begin a new cycle. So just remember, it's going to cycle around again and again, whatever the situation is. And answering the call, the time is now. Okay, what this reminds me of is, hey, we always know that after nighttime comes morning. So the cycle, what's going to happen pretty predictably with the cycle of whatever this is for you. And sometimes, because we know, morning follows nighttime, we can start preparing for the morning in the night because we know it's going to happen. So don't settle down and feel like, this isn't moving. This isn't going in the direction I want. I don't understand this new direction. I don't like this pivot, whatever it is for you. Now is not the time to rest. Now is the time to if you still feel called in your heart to whatever this is, rise to that call, answer the call, right? That's clearly what this says. The time is now. Just know that this is a cycle and things are going to resurge soon. Things will start moving forward fairly soon, it seems like, from this. Within, I'd say, 2 or 3 weeks for most of you, but obviously, since it's general reading, a little bit different for everyone. But answering that call, don't give up. Don't feel like there's nothing to do. Even if it's a pivot and you need to go in a different direction, there's still work to be done. Still answer that call on your heart. The time is now, it's what it's saying. You are just about to begin a new cycle. So trust that everything here on earth is cyclical, and you are going to be stepping into a new cycle. Plan accordingly. I didn't even notice this before, but if you notice, there's this little bird's nest. The birds are going to be hatching. That's what happens, right? Springtime is indicated here. Spring does naturally follow winter. So those are the cycles I'm talking about. So answer the call. Don't just rest and forget it all. Keep moving, keep the pace. You really are a leader here and need to shine the light. So I'm excited to hear how this resonates with you guys. We are going to move these to the side. And as we have been doing for the past several weeks now, we're going to do a little message from loved ones in spirit. Now, the way I like to do those is pull 3 different messages with 3 different clarifiers. So normally what I ask you to do is just for a moment, take a deep breath, let your eyes rest closed if you're somewhere safe to do so, and just breathe. And the first loved one from the spirit world that pops into your mind now is the message that you can consider one of these mini messages from. So let us see what our loved ones have to say to us. I am already liking these. And I'm going to pull from this Nature's Whisper deck here. Okay. The earth is our school. Be true to your heart. That's some of the best advice, like especially considering that spread that we just saw. Follow your heart, follow your passion. The earth is our school. We're here to learn. We're here to try things. We're here to, explore, and we're here to put ourselves out there, sometimes involving vulnerability and following our heart, heeding the call, right? So that is a little bit of guidance, a little gem of love and support from your loved one. The earth is our school. Follow your heart. So if you were, or be true to your heart is what it is actually. So if you have been wrestling with a decision, that is the guidance from your loved one. If you were kind of piecing together that reading we just did, this is the guidance from your loved one. Now moving on to the second message, there is no such thing as death with vulnerability. I didn't even realize this was the next card. So it's okay to be vulnerable. It's safe to be vulnerable. I think for a lot of us, our greatest fear is showing our vulnerability. There's no such thing as death. Our loved ones live on, just in a different way. They are a soul, whether we are in a physical body or whether we have left our physical body. We all know that our bodies are temporary. They only live for, at best, 80 to 100 years. And some people don't even get that long. But there is no such thing as death. Death is an illusion. They do continue on. It's how they can communicate through mediumship. And so because you know that, where are you not being vulnerable that you can allow yourself to be vulnerable? Maybe it's in communicating with your loved one on the other side. We all have access to our own loved ones. While maybe everyone is not a medium who can communicate with other people's loved ones, certainly we all have access to our own loved ones. So can you open your heart and be vulnerable enough to know that your loved one is there? They haven't died. Their physical body might not have been able to sustain anymore, but their soul, them as a person, their memories, their personality continues on. So for some of you, I'm just feeling very closed or afraid of being vulnerable enough to try to contact or communicate or accept the signs that your loved one's giving you. They really want to just put some love around your heart and say it's okay to be vulnerable in this way. There is no such thing as death. Okay, so third message, I have no worries, which is so beautiful with the sunflowers, with fresh approach. Okay, so if you are someone that has been, worried about your loved one in the spirit world, worried about what they think or how they're feeling, or if they're disappointed, or, any of the worries, there are millions of worries that we can have, wondering if they're worrying, take a fresh approach. Maybe instead of that, start leaning into the happy memories that you shared with them or the light side of the person that they were. We all have light and shadow within our personalities and within our lives. We all have successes and challenges, and don't just remember their challenges or the things that you're worried about or you feel they might be worried about. Take a new approach. See, how you can connect with them differently, how you can feel them differently. What are the different memories that you have of them instead of just lingering, in the painful memories of the end of their life, for example? Can you find bright spots throughout their life or in a different part of their life that you can let yourself remember and revel in for a little while? A fresh approach. So however you've been doing it, take a fresh approach to communicating, connecting, feeling them, thinking of them. They have no earthly worries is what it is, right? So yeah, just kind of taking that on board. They have no earthly worries. I have no earthly worries is what they want you to know, and take a fresh approach. Maybe you need to rethink or reevaluate the way you're thinking about it. So those are your messages from your spirit loved ones. We are just going to do our final message for the week, which is this universe has your back deck, a little mantra for us for the week, if you will. Attack, fear, pain, judgment, and any form of separation are merely calls for help. I'm going to read that for you one more time. Attack, pain, fear, judgment, and any form of separation are merely calls for help. So, back to that weekly reading that we just did. If someone in your space is expressing fear or judgment or lack, or if you are, it's really just a call for help. And how can you take a fresh approach? Really is some great advice from our loved ones in the spirit world. How can you take a fresh approach to the way you're looking at it, or to new inspiration, or to reworking old inspiration? So any feelings of loneliness or separation are really just a cry for help. And that might be a message for you personally, or it might be for someone in your life, just to kind of give you some insight into someone in your life. I hope you have enjoyed the messages this week with me. It has been so great to be with you. If you're not already in the Joy's Soul Spa private Facebook community, I would love it if you hop on in. I just did a channeled message this past week that was really cool that you might enjoy. I hope to see you there. Have a great week.